There's been no problems. Although we've had some rainy Augusts before.
I believe those meters were in, Rocky, for a full year before, and our intention would be to leave them in for a long time. I mean, that's not to say that you're not going to get a drought for a whole year, but
Okay, boys,
a year to a year is a reasonable measurement period.
Ready?
All right.
time out. Okay, it is 7:01. Today is April 26th, and we are calling this regular meeting of council to order. I did that completely out of order. My apologies. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Markowitz, you get to lead us again. Everyone else, please mute.
All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Bloom, could you please do the roll call for us?
Sure. DiBernardo,
Here.
Evans,
Here.
Grube,
Here.
Newell. Newell,
Who's here?
that's
Oh,
okay.
he's on mute. He's on mute. He's coming.
I'll keep going. Rocky,
Here.
Rogoff,
Here.
Weigel,
Here. Newell, here.
you're there.
Awesome. Okay, did everyone receive their copy of the minutes from the April 12th meeting? Any adjustments or changes? Seeing nobody clamoring for that, I would move to approve the minutes from April 12th, 2021.
Second.
Motion by Grube, second by Rogoff. Roll call, please.
DiBernardo.
Aye.
Evans,
Aye.
Grube,
Aye.
Newell,
Aye.
Rocky,
Aye.
Rogoff,
Aye.
Weigel.
Hi.
Report of the mayor.
Thank you. I have a very brief report tonight, just two items. Tonight, when I came in, literally just about 20 minutes ago, I was notified that Congressman Joyce has selected our wastewater treatment plant for one of the 10 projects that's going to be submitted to the Appropriations Committee for his district. Each district was limited to 10. So no matter how much that is, it's more than we started with.
Great.
And,
That's great.
And we really
That's
thank
fabulous.
Joyce for what he's done. And then secondly, it's a bittersweet. I'd like to acknowledge Julie Linder. Last Monday night was her last formal planning and zoning meeting that she attended. She has worked for the village for just under 30 years and has been instrumental in making the village what it is today. And her efforts on behalf of Chagrin Falls, improving our zoning, working with our law director, I just can't say enough nice things about her and the work she's done. And I just wanted to thank her for that and wish her well. She has agreed to stay on in special projects roles, consulting, and we welcome that. And Julie, sincerely thank you on behalf of the entire village.
You're welcome. It's been my pleasure for all of these years to be able to work with everyone in the village. Just a great, wonderful experience. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you so much for all the time you've given to the community. And we do wish you the best of luck and fun in your next endeavors. I know you're going to pull back from work, but.
Yes, and in fact, I'm attending this from my daughter's apartment in Seattle right now. It's only 4 o'clock on a beautiful sunny afternoon. So we'll be moving to the patio after this meeting.
That sounds enjoyable.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Thank
You're
you
going to be
so
a
much.
hard person to replace.
Yes, Julie, you really are. And Julie's made some recommendations to us in reference. So, and she'll be available for some special projects. So, we look forward to that and we wish her well in her semi-retirement.
Semi-retirement. I'll still be around. Rob
Yeah.
Rob knows how to reach me.
Yes, I know, and we will. So,
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, thank you. And it's always a pleasure to make a mayor's report with nothing but good news and to keep it short. So with that, I'm done.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Markowitz.
Thank you. We have two items on the legislative agenda, both of which Julie Linder was very much involved with. And I also wanted to thank her and appreciate all the great advice she's given me since I've been law director, and I'll miss her greatly as well. The first item we have tonight is ordinance number 2021-20, an ordinance amending the planning and zoning code of the Village of Chagrin Falls and amending section, whoop, I read the wrong one. Nobody
I
noticed
was
that.
looking.
I thought I was witnessing.
Yeah,
We didn't want to embarrass the law director.
yeah, well, it wouldn't be hard. Ordinance, our first one is ordinance 2021-19, an ordinance amending the planning and zoning code of the Village of Chagrin Falls and amending the zoning map of Chagrin Falls.
Okay, Ms. Rogoff.
So this amendment rezones several village-owned, I think all but one are village-owned properties.
No, they're all village owned.
They are all, okay, then they are all village-owned
Yeah.
properties. Mainly along the river and in the river, and zoning those to Parks and Institute Parks District.
Conservation.
Oh, right,
Good.
sorry.
All right.
They're in parks now, but zoning them to conservation, and that's a little more restrictive than the actual Parks District. And these are, they're mainly wetlands again, and in the river and.
Through the woods.
Well, yes,
Through the woods.
exactly, through the woods.
Yeah.
So this, do you want me to?
Yeah, let's get more detail here.
So
So
this
there
was the
is-
map I showed everybody back at the beginning of the year.
It
So
is
it's
attached
just the
to
map
this.
that you gave us.
Yes.
Okay.
And we received a parcel through the foreclosure process at the corner of Low Street in Cleveland, which was sort of a key piece to being able to do this riverside trail, this arboretum trail that we're doing that we have a grant for. And that parcel is currently zoned, single family, which, I mean, if the slope looks like this, you can barely walk up it. You certainly aren't going to be building it. So anyway, we own it. We're not building single family homes, so it would make sense to put it into a different district. And then I looked at the districts and it made more sense to make it conservation just based on our planned use of the space, the topography of the space. And then this would also then connect that whole trail space up to the Arboretum. So it's all riverside embankment that would be going from parks to conservation. And then the area below Mill Street's also included, the Mill Street sidewalk. This does not impact Riverside Park. We also own a parcel that was donated by the Corcorans, which is sort of at the bend of the river where West Washington bends to Church Street, the river there. We own a lot of the riverbed, and that was donated with a conservation easement. But right now we have it in parks. Doesn't really make sense in parks because we're clearly not doing anything but leaving the river as a river.
If you
And
look
then-
behind me, that's part of the parcel right there.
Yes.
Aaron, I can share a map of that if you want.
If you want to, that might be helpful.
Yeah,
And then-
do we have those color maps that we started out with?
Yeah, Christy, can you enable my screen?
And then the final element is the Grove Hill, the lower portion of the Grove Hill parcel that was donated by Western Reserve this, what was it, last fall?
Right.
Yeah.
Can't believe it's been a year since all that whole process started. So again, these are all village-owned parcels. Nothing is private. I did speak with the Corcorans about the donation parcel that they gave us, and they were fully supportive of it being conservation. It was more in line with the donation agreement that we have with them.
So I guess I have a question that specifically has to deal with the lower portion of Grove Hill than the land that's really, conservation. What are the differences that we're going to see long term in a conservation land versus a parkland? I mean, is it going to limit what we can really do with it? Well,
Rocky, I don't believe
Actually-
I don't believe it does. Parks would allow you to, for example, put a baseball field in or, something active. and a conservation district just prevents something active. And I think the intention all along was to make that a passive park and to maintain it as a passive park with no active recreation. So that's the only distinction it would make to this.
And,
Right.
actually, the deed restrictions on the Grove Hill property are actually more restrictive than the description of our conservation district. So it's more restrictive than the conservation district. So the conservation district isn't really changing anything to it because of the deed restrictions, and they are more enforceable than the zoning and can't be changed.
If you would like, I could read the accepted uses.
Yeah, that'd be good.
But we're not gonna like limit ourselves against putting in a where we're still gonna be able to put in a paved path or, you know, a brick paver.
No.
We're not limiting ourselves.
That would be allowed.
That'd be allowed, Rocky.
Okay.
So the main uses permitted in the conservation district include forestry, hiking trails, boardwalks and footpaths, forest preserves, wildlife habitats, fishing and fish breeding habitats, observation stations and interpretive displays, and shelters or storage areas. Accessory uses would include parking areas, sanitation facilities, lighting, and fences.
Yeah.
So those
Makes
would be
sense to me.
Okay. So we leave all zoning on reading for 3 readings. And so we also get to have a public hearing. So with everybody's consent, I would like to set the public hearing for ordinance 2021-19 and then also 2021-20 for May 24th at 7:00 p.m., which would meet our public notice requirements and is during the council meeting, so we don't have to schedule another meeting.
Sounds good.
So I assume everyone will be available.
Well, you're good.
Do I need a motion? I don't need a motion on that, do I? No.
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 Aaron,
Yes.
when we advertise this particular ordinance, can we include this map with it?
Yes. Would you like a copy that doesn't have all of my thoughts?
Well, maybe not this exact copy, but I mean, I've seen some copies of this map that don't have all those notes on them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that Rob can find something, but I think people are going to want to be able to visualize on a map where these are.
I think you're right, Nancy.
So
Aaron, I don't
hopefully I know we had a nicer looking version than this,
Yeah.
Rob. So you can, if you would, please. Thank you.
Well, there's two maps. That's why the original one that went around, they're right there. See below?
Yeah.
There's a second one. Yeah.
We'll clean it up. I'll send you a copy, Nancy.
Yeah.
I'll clean up what I have and I'll send you a copy and we'll get it.
Yeah, I actually, well, I think I have a copy. It isn't for me. It's, you know, for the public. I'd like the public to be able to see this.
What, send the copy you like to Rob.
Okay.
Okay.
You can see
Karen?
in the comments that Christy has asked to send her the copy that you want published. She'll put it up.
To Christy. Okay.
Yep.
Darren, go ahead.
I don't know if it makes any sense, but excuse me, I think it was Bill that you kind of summed it up, and I got it immediately, that it's the conservation designation is more for passive use. If there's just one sentence, because this looks more complicated than it actually is.
It is more, it's very simple.
So if that could be included somewhere, just something to make it so people don't have a lot of questions that don't really pertain to what we're talking about. That might be helpful, just to
We
find
can
out.
make it helpful. Agree. Cool. Okay, well, we will have 2 more chances to discuss this unless there's anything else that's urgent that people would like to discuss tonight.
Can I make one other comment?
Of course.
In the park district, the main uses are public parks, playgrounds, and athletic fields and swimming pools, which is why we didn't think those parcels would fit that. And the other element to that is that when it's in the park district, it's got this public forum, First Amendment aspect that always creates great difficulties for us, including today. And so the idea of putting it into the conservation district, where it's really not a place for public displays or First Amendment exercise or forums, that's one of the key reasons why we're moving it.
That's a
Agreed.
good point. Thank you.
Sure.
Also, I'm not building a swimming pool in the middle of the river.
Be a
I
unique,
know, you're disappointed. Okay. On that note, could we go on to the next item? We'll leave this on readings.
Sure. Ordinance 2021-20 is the next ordinance. It's an ordinance amending the planning and zoning code of the Village of Chagrin Falls and amending section 1111.03 parens A, parens B, and parens C, and adding subsection parens E, and amending section 1111.10 by moving subsection parens G to a new section 1111.11 and adding new language regarding appeals of administrative matters.
Ms. Rogoff, you also get to introduce this one.
So the main thing that this amendment does is create a date certain from which your notice of appeal would have to be made. There was some issues, not knowing when to start counting the number of days for an appeal, and this amendment should clarify that. It also clarifies some of the language for an appeal. And there's one section in it that I guess it sort of gives a free pass to someone if they relied on the advice of the administration and that advice was incorrect. It gives them an opportunity to still appeal the decision that was made within a shorter time frame from the time they actually find out that they needed to appeal, that they wanted to appeal. So those are the primary changes to that section.
Questions, conversation, discussion?
I guess I'm just assuming that mulligan that you get, if you've gotten bad advice, it has to be in written format somewhere, an email, something along those lines. Is that's stated in here somewhere?
It is. It says the grief party was provided with incorrect written information from the administrator. Yeah.
Got it. Thanks.
So there's a red line version there.
Yeah.
So you can tell what's exactly being changed. And then the clean copy, if you just want to read the thing and see how it all flows together without the interruptions of the red lines under and crossouts.
So if we're denied something and our denial has the wrong date for the appeal window, we have, like, let's say I'm denied. Can you walk me through this just so I understand what the timeline adjustment is? I just want to make sure because it's 10 days from the date they discovered it. So if I discover it the day after it was due, I could turn it in, but I have only 20 days to do that, right?
No, you'd have 10.
No, but what she's saying is if there's an error that's discovered, we give them an additional 10 days from discovery to correct the appeal, but not more than 20 days after the actual decision was made by the administrator.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you find out 30 days later, you're still out of luck.
Right.
Okay.
So you don't have an indefinite amount of time to look for an error. It's basically why we're doing that, correct?
Right.
Is this similar to what other communities do? Is this sort of industry standard?
No.
Yeah.
Very few communities have done this. Probably the ones who have were the ones like us who experienced, unfortunately, one incident like this. So you figure, okay, let's make sure if this happens again, we have a way to resolve it. So it gives more jurisdiction to the Board of Zoning Appeals.
This all comes from, it was Soul Leather Lane? Or
Yes.
was it? Yeah, this all comes
Yeah.
from the property on Soul Leather Lane.
Yeah.
So, I mean, generally, appeal deadlines are very, very harsh, generally. So this kind of softens the blow if the administration makes a mistake.
It also defines what is the action from which the appeal has to be made and the time period when it begins to run, which most communities, their language is either missing or as lacking as ours used to be. And I think now it's much more understandable by the residents and by the administration.
Dale, what happens if someone objects and they object within the time frame given, and then we discuss it, and they're not happy with our finding? Can they further object? And did you reset the clock to the 20 days? What's the process there?
Okay, it's hard to know what you're asking about. Is this something that's going to the Board of Zoning Appeals or to council?
I guess this would be going to in this instance, I don't have anything concrete. I'm just saying if this were going to Board of Zoning Appeals.
Yeah,
then
and
so if you-
somebody, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. So if you've got your certain amount of time to object, whether you got incorrect information or whatever, and it has to go back to then it has to go to council, what happens to their clock? Does it get reset? Do they get an additional 20 days? I'm just trying to understand the timelines of the process.
Well, let's assume a decision is made by the Planning Commission. Because it's not only actions by the building inspector or the chief administrative officer, it can be by an administrative body. So let's say the Planning Commission renders a decision at a meeting. The question always was, well, do we have to wait till the minutes are approved or till they write a letter, or when does the clock start to run? So now, if you look at section 3 under the underlining, the administrator has to send action, the results of the action either that he took or that the Planning Commission took. And then that's when the clock starts to run. And then they have 10 days to appeal that to the Board of Zoning Appeals. There is no appeal to the council. That's only by petition of 3 members of council. So if the Board of Zoning Appeals rules and then council doesn't take up a petition, they have 30 days to appeal that to court. And that's also part of what we did here, is we wanted to make it clear to the court what the final action is so that they can file their appeal to the Common Pleas Court. And that's section 4, you'll see has that new language.
This all stemmed from, there was a debate with the Soul Leather Lane question about the appeal process would have fallen in a window depending on when the decision was made by planning and zoning and when Rob issued the letter. That made a difference in the appeal process. And that's where all this gray area in the timing came from for us. So there was a lot of debate on whether or not we could actually hear the appeal based on the timing.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we clear as mud for the night? Do we want to ask any more questions tonight, or do you want to put it on pause until May?
Let's
We have
go to
one
the
more
next.
meeting to talk about it.
Yeah, we have
Second reading.
Yeah, we have a couple more meetings. So,
Yeah,
okay.
so, yeah.
Seeing nothing urgent, let us move onward. Dale,
Can I make one more comment quickly? Some of us are wearing some Chagrin Falls Police Department t-shirts, and on the back they say "Fight with Fisher." For anybody in the audience who's hearing this now or later, I'll ask the chief to confirm it, but you can buy t-shirts or just make a cash donation to help Sergeant Fisher, who's fighting some medical issues, and we hope that this will help spread the word. That's it.
Okay.
Thank you, Dale.
Okay, council committee reports. Admin and comp, Mr. Wyville.
Nothing to report this evening. Thank you.
Arts Commission, Ms. DiBernardo.
Yes, okay, we had a great meeting, got reports from all of our local arts groups, which I will submit to Christy to have them put up on the village website. One move that we did make at the village level was it was proposed that we have a village arts commission prize for the school art show that happens every year in May, the 7 through 12 school art show. And I spoke with Mayor Tomko and we approved a small cash prize that will go in, it's in line with what's given by the school boards and the Dads Club and many organizations. Pam Spermelli and Greg Hill will be judging the art contest this May. And we will have our first winner of the Village of Chagrin Falls Arts Commission Award given to a 2D piece of art the second week of May. So I'll bring that back when it comes in and we'll see what we got. So, okay.
Cool.
That's my arts
Is there a
commission.
reason why we had to specify 2D?
You know why? Because we would like to consider hanging it in Village Hall. If it's a sculpture, I'm not sure we can do that. A lot of the places like school board, they hang something for a year and then they rotate it in and out. If we don't do 2D, I don't know where if we'd be able to put it somewhere. So that's why I specified 2D to give us some possibilities. I haven't, since Village Hall's been closed, I have to go down there and see if there's space. I know that we've got a lot of things on the walls, so we'll have to discuss that further. So.
Perfect.
Anyway.
Okay. Board of Zoning Appeals, Mr. Rocky.
We have our next meeting tomorrow night at 7:30, so that's April 27th.
Okay.
It's gonna be an exciting one. We're talking about fences.
Oh, are you guys fences? Okay. Cemetery Commission we are meeting tomorrow at 9 a.m. for our seasonal walkthrough of the cemetery. We walk through and we look at any sort of maintenance stuff that's sort of popped up over the winter that we need to address. As always, the goal is to have it like in tip-top shape before we get to Memorial Day when we have a lot of people up there. And then we've also been working on the plantings for the center of the Fireman's Circle. If you haven't been up, you can go up and it would be on I'm terrible with cardinal directions, the south side of the cemetery. There is a circle and it is called the Fireman's Circle. You can like drive in a circle. And we have a new columbarium there, and that is a structure that you put urns in. It has little niches. And so we will eventually have almost a circle of them around the circle with some plantings and trees and stuff in the center. So we've been working through a lot of the details of those. If you'd like to see pictures, we can bring pictures, and I will try and do a picture show at our next council meeting because I need to send everything to Christy to have uploaded for screen sharing. So that's me. Facilities and Services, Ms. DiBernardo.
No report this evening.
Finance Committee is myself. We met as a committee of the whole last Wednesday and we talked through the entire capital budget. It was enjoyable to see everybody. Parks Commission, Ms. Rogoff.
Parks Commission, so the Grove Hill Committee is meeting Wednesday the 28th at 11 o'clock in the morning at Grove Hill.
The 28th.
The 28th, Wednesday, that's day after tomorrow at 11 o'clock in the morning at Grove Hill.
Thank you.
And then
See, if we get rain, we're going to postpone that, but it's not forecast till afternoon, so it shouldn't affect the meeting.
okay, good. That's good. And then the Parks Committee is meeting May 5th at 8:30 in the morning, and that'll be a Zoom meeting.
Cool. Anything else?
No, and there no new business from the last council meeting. Parks were good.
We had so many events last time. I wasn't sure.
We did. We're out our welcome.
There's nothing left, no organizations left.
Oh, well, I don't know.
There's no more
The agenda
weekends.
on Wednesday is growing.
We ran out of weekends. Okay, Planning and Zoning Commission, Ms. Rogoff.
So Planning and Zoning meets on, let's see, May 17th
Okay,
at 7 o'clock in, well, that'll be by Zoom too.
perfect. Safety Committee, Mr. Rocky.
We are going to meet on Tuesday, May 4th at 7 p.m. to talk about some crosswalk concerns. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for getting that set up.
Yeah, sorry we didn't get it earlier. My work schedule's been swamped, so.
Shade Tree Commission, Ms. DiBernardo.
Yes, two tree items, or shade tree items. One, the report for April noted that the state of Ohio has apparently declared the pear tree as an invasive species. And we have recently planted some pear trees.
Like the
So-
Bradford pear?
The jack pear is what we're concerned about. We have recently planted some jack pear trees, and Cuyahoga Community College is going to undertake a study to see if there's evidence to support removal of these trees. And if so, it'll take 3 to 5 years for them to determine that. But just so you know, as for now, we're not planting pear trees. And the other exciting piece of news from Shade Tree, for me at least, is that they're contemplating in the future meeting in person again, because many of the members have been vaccinated, and we may get some of our Shade Tree people back. So for me, that's exciting. I haven't seen these guys in a year.
And Dr. Fauci says being outside is safe.
Right, we could go meet under the trees. So there you go. So, okay, and that's it for Shade
Under a
Tree.
pear tree.
Yeah, no pear trees. Yeah, they'll be everywhere. It's dangerous.
On that note, streets and sidewalks, Mrs. Evans.
Yes, they will be starting the repaving of East Washington Street tomorrow. And we have a meeting on May 5th to have the watershed partners come in and make their findings about the storm water runoff. And we'll be meeting at 6 o'clock via Zoom. And then on May 10th, we have a streets and sidewalks meeting at 6 o'clock before the council meeting, discussing the sidewalks in the village.
You are very busy. Thank you very much for taking on those projects.
You're
I've got
welcome.
one question about the East Washington project. How long is that paving supposed to take? And are we expecting the road to be totally closed, partially closed?
It'll be closed, or it'll be under construction for 1 month. There's no planned full closures. Traffic will be maintained using flaggers at all stages of the project. We're just asking people to use extra caution when traveling in that area over the next month.
Thank you. In case anybody sees that.
So it's a month-long project, Rob?
Yes, that's correct. It should be done before Memorial Day.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And then
That's all
last,
I have, Mrs. President.
thank you. And last but not least, utilities, Mr. Newell.
Yeah, I just spoke to Rob today. We're making good progress with getting started on the wastewater project, which is very exciting. And some of the equipment's arrived. The new generator has arrived. It's not hooked up. And looks like everything's going to get started up this week. So, yeah, it's going to be a good project.
Long time coming. Very exciting.
Yes.
We were also notified that the filters have now been put on a ship in Italy, and they're expected to be arriving somewhere in this country in 4 weeks. And so I imagine shortly after they arrive, they'll be delivered to us. So I think that's the last major piece of equipment, so to speak, that we're waiting for. But Tim may have more when he talks later.
Fantastic. Okay. Anything else, Jim? You good?
No, that's it. That's it.
Okay. On that note, report of the Chief Administrative Officer, Mr. Jameson.
I have nothing to report tonight, Madam President.
Report of the engineer, Mr. Lannon.
Thank you, Madam President. No report tonight. Congratulations to Julie. It's nice to see her by the magic of Zoom. Usually when she attends our meetings, there's some zoning problem we have to figure out. So this is
I
a
know,
happy
this is
occasion.
a happy occasion. I get to be here for a change when everybody's not so glum or stressed out.
Right.
Thank you, Tim.
That's all I have. I'm open for questions.
Any questions for Mr. Lannon?
Nope.
Okay. A report of the police chief. Chief Lisa.
I will be quick tonight. Just a reminder that safety town registrations are open and we are capping it at 75. So it'll be for kindergarten only. So if folks are interested, they should get that in as soon as possible. And then just thank you, Mr. Markowitz, for bringing up our fundraiser for Sergeant Fisher. The shirt store is actually closed, but we are still accepting donations through the benevolent fund. So thank you, Angie and Mr. Markowitz, for wearing your shirts tonight. We appreciate it.
I have my buttons.
Oh, awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, is there a website for the donations, or is there how do you want people to donate?
So if somebody wanted to make a donation, they can do it through our it's called the John Murtaugh Benevolent Fund. And actually, I don't know if Chief Zugan is here, but I know we can also accept donations for Jim Finley through that as well. So the John Murtaugh Benevolent Fund is for police and fire. So if somebody wanted to donate to Jim as well, they can do that through the Murtaugh Fund. I know the fire department has some other fundraisers set up. So, but that is always an option too. If somebody wanted to make it to the benevolent fund, we'll make sure that he gets that money.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
We can make a non-fungible token out of these shirts and then sell them for a lot of money, Angie,
That's
and then donate it.
I like it.
I'll figure that out later tonight. Okay.
Yeah.
This sounds like a great idea to plot in the middle of a public meeting on Zoom.
Exactly.
Okay. Report of the fire chief. So guess what? That's me tonight. In big news, today was Chief Zugan's last day at Shaker, and he asked to be excused from our meeting so he could enjoy the evening with his family. And I thought that seemed like a well-deserved dinner with his family. So here's your fire report. The lieutenant and captain promotional test will be given on Sunday, May 2nd, and the interview portion of the test will be held on May 18th. Chief Zugan anticipates the mayor to swear in new officers on Monday, June 14th. He also wanted me to let everybody know that Jim Finley has completed 2 rounds and started his 3rd round of chemo today. He's in great spirits and doing as well as expected. If things continue to progress like they have, he might be able to come home for a week or so in the early part of May before returning for more treatment. Jim and Beth and the entire department want to thank council and the entire valley for all the support they have given Jim and Beth during this time. He's truly feeling the love. I know, right? Okay, so if you have any questions, please reach out directly to Chief Zugan, who will be, continuing to work with us. Members of the public to speak to any matter. So Chagrin Falls Council appreciates and values citizen comments during our meeting. The public comment section of our meeting limits each individual to 5 minutes. All comments should be directed to the council. And we will start by asking members of the public who are attending on Zoom to use the raise your hand function. And then we will bring you into the panelist Zoom, and you will be able to speak one at a time for 5 minutes. So I see hands up. Christy, when you get a chance, can you move Valerie in?
I'm doing so now.
Thank you. And this is also the fun part of our meeting, when it always takes technology a little bit to catch up with us. So we will smile at each other as we wait for everything to connect. I will make cheesy conversation to fill the gaps.
Valerie, as you are able, if you'd please unmute and start your camera.
Got it.
And Valerie, before you speak, I need you to give us your first name, your last name, and your address for the record.
Okay, I'm not sure where you went. Can you still hear me?
We can hear you. Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. So I'm Valerie Laumer. We live at 289 Hickory Hill Road, and we moved here about 3.5 years ago. We absolutely love it here. But there's one problem that we've been seeing quite a bit of, and I posted a post on Facebook on the Village Block page about on Bill and in front of the popcorn shop and just down the street from there, cars just are not paying attention to the pedestrians. And it's just happened a lot. This morning, we were crossing the street, crossing across Bell in front of the popcorn shop, and a truck righted on red. We were already in the street. When I've been on that, facing the popcorn shop, I've seen people like literally jump out of the way from cars. When I posted that, somebody suggested that I, speak to the council because this had been brought up last spring before the pandemic, and that there were things that were being thought of to be implemented. And I am very concerned. I don't have small children, but I do have 2 dogs, and just, for myself and my husband. And I see, after school, there's, middle schoolers that, they may not be paying attention, but, you'd hope that the cars would be. I just don't want to see somebody getting hurt. So I guess I would like to know what things you guys were thinking about and implementing to make things safer. I mean, I had some suggestions. I don't know if there were things that were already thought about.
So, yeah, no, we definitely hear you on the number of public concerns out there. And Mr. Rocky is going to be hosting a safety committee meeting, and our safety committee is the one who has handled the bulk of the lifting in terms of vetting what ideas should be implemented in the village. They're usually brought to council as well for discussion. And Andrew, on a different page, can you remind me when your safety meeting is?
May 4th.
At 7, right?
At 7, which is also election day.
I don't think we have anything on the ballot. Do we?
We don't have anything, but some other places do.
They do.
May the 4th is an election day.
Valerie, I would encourage you to attend the safety meeting because that'll be a great forum to vet a lot of these ideas and go through what we've tried too.
Okay, so is that on Zoom or how can I get linked into it?
It'll be right back here, the same link, and it'll be on the website.
Okay. So I can just look at that sheet that I had and it'll be on there.
The virtual
meeting
meeting page, yeah.
Okay, all right. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thanks for taking the time to come out and visit us tonight or join us.
Okay. Have a good evening.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay,
Thank you.
next we have Chelsea Whitman Rush.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi. So I'm just echoing what
Can you
Valerie
do,
said.
Chelsea, can you do name and address for us?
I'm sorry. My name is Chelsea Whitman Rush. I live at 49 West Washington Street. We've lived here for about 6 years. And I was actually the person who urged Valerie to join the call tonight on the Village Block Club page. Myself and another resident, Tara Martin, met with Andrew and Angela right before shutdown. And I know we had a lot of ideas. We discussed what the village has done in the past and also what some of the intentions were for the future. So I'm eager to engage again and get that conversation going since, we had to put it on pause last year. But I know there are a lot of concerned residents, myself included, and we do have young kids. And I am eager to get moving with that conversation.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. So May the 4th.
Thanks for having me.
Safety Committee.
May the 4th be with you.
Exactly.
I know, I'm really trying hard not to say that. Love a good job. Okay, thank you, Chelsea. Anything else, Chelsea?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Do we have any other members of the public who would like to speak? If so, you guys can use your raise the hand function, and Christy will then move you over and into the panelist window so that we can hear your voices.
I have already enabled Chelsea Whitman Rush. If you would please start your camera and unmute.
She already did, Christy.
Oh, I was elsewhere. Thank you.
No worries, all good.
Anyone else?
No, I'm not seeing anyone else. Okay. Going once, going twice. Okay, moving on in our agenda. Andrew, thank you for setting that meeting up. I appreciate it.
Not a problem.
Whitman Rice or something.
Miscellaneous. The only item I have under miscellaneous is Memorial Day. It's coming up at the end of May, and the American Legion reached out to the village at the end of 2020 asking for some additional support in planning Memorial Day. So we've been working very hard on that. We are planning a virtual ceremony, and we are not having a parade because there is a pandemic. So we're asking people to join us for the ceremony virtually. It will be streamed on YouTube, and I believe Drone Ohio will be doing the streaming. You should be able to catch that on Drone Ohio's pages, the Historical Society pages, and the village. So it's going to all the places, and we hope people from the community will join us. Any other miscellaneous items? Guys, this is fantastic. Let's adjourn tonight at 7:45. Please go enjoy the sunshine, and thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Have a good evening.